Good morning, everyone. Good morning, and welcome to this meeting of your Los Angeles City Council. Today is Tuesday, April 9th, 2024. I'm Paul Krikorian, President of the Council. And because we have a number of people in the room who may be here for the first time, let me just say at the outset, there will be no disruption of the work of this council. Any shouting out or interruption of council members who are trying to speak or do their work will not be tolerated, and you will be asked to leave this meeting. So we're going to proceed with our work without interruption.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to recuse myself from item 20 because my wife's employer has worked with applicants on the item, and out of an abundance of caution, I've been advised by the city attorney to recuse myself from item 30 since I am a landlord. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And likewise, for the same reason, I will be recusing on item number 30 as well on advice of counsel. Leave Los Angeles a much better place, and his legacy will
effectively stand up when I talk about you. But if we can have coaches of both teams come up and join me at the podium today. So colleagues, today I want to take some time. And earlier this year, these two groups of student athletes that you see here in council chambers today and their coaches delivered the schools with even more glory. With us today, we have two of the school's sports teams, the girls soccer team to my right, the girls basketball team to my left, and their respective coaches. Both teams had incredible seasons and worked tirelessly to make the entire Granada Hills Charter High School community proud. So let me start first with the girls soccer team. Young ladies, can you stand up? In early March,
those amazing student athletes that we have. I'll just like to say a few words and we'll get it going. What a fantastic year it has been for this group of ladies. 5-6 months ago when I took over the Granada Hills program, line of defense, cover so much ground without the ball, and put the pride aside and always put the team first. They help leading the girls and make the environment such a fun experience for everyone.
Thank you, Coach. And now I'd like to invite up Coach Ray Colston from the girls basketball team. Coach.
All right. Well, we want to thank Los Angeles for
colleagues, I'd like to, I just saw this person, I didn't see them before, but I'd like to recognize our head of school for Granada Hills, who joined us here, Mr. Brian Bauer. Mr. Bauer, thank you so much for joining the young academically through the years. I'm proud to be a Highlander. I found a new favorite student over here because she asked if I graduated in 2010. So she's now officially my new favorite person at Granada Hills High School. So I did. I graduated from class of 1988, young ladies. I've been here. I'm proud to be a Highlander, proud to represent an area that obviously I grew up in and the school that I went to and I love so much.
Colleagues, our city animal shelters are in crises. They are overwhelmed with animals and the conditions are completely unacceptable. This is both an inflow and an outflow problem. We have too many animals coming into the shelters and we do not have enough being adopted or fostered. Many different factors have contributed to this crisis, including a lack of pet-friendly rental units, a wave of dogs being dropped off at shelters after COVID-19, and pets that are not being spayed and neutered. But despite the current conditions, there are currently very few barriers to obtaining a breeding permit. In fact, last year, the Department of Animal Services had issued more than 1,100 breeding permits in just the first 6 months of the year. And staff and volunteers at our shelters have shared that there has been an influx of purebred dogs being dropped off at our shelters. It is unacceptable for the city to continue issuing breeding permits while thousands of animals are suffering from overcrowded conditions in our shelters. This ordinance will institute a moratorium on all new breeding permits until our shelters are at or below 75% of their kennel capacity. I want to repeat that again. This moratorium is only in place until our shelters reach 75% capacity. So this is not permanent. This is just to get us to a place where our shelters are manageable. This is far from the only action we need to take, and I hope that we will all revisit this conversation and the current conditions in the shelters during our budget conversations. We cannot allow the animals in our care to suffer as a result of poor policy and budgeting decisions. I would like to thank my colleague, Councilmember Park, for presenting this with me. Our animals need partners on this council, and I'm grateful for her leadership. I hope you all will join me in supporting this ordinance that, again, is not permanent, and I ask for your aye vote, please. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. I want to thank Councilwoman Hernandez for bringing this motion. I was honored to second it. It's encouraging to have lots of members on this council who care about animal welfare. This is also a tax savings measure, as well as being about the animals. Our shelters, as she mentioned, are busting at the seams, and it costs money to house these animals, and it costs us even more to put them down. The impetus for this motion is to encourage people to adopt their pets from the shelter and to stop going to the breeders. So get your Labradors, your Bulldogs, your Corgis from a shelter and adopt them. Not from a breeder where you pay thousands of dollars and actually make the shelter overpopulation worse. Now, the downside some animal advocates have shared with me is that they worry that this may drive folks underground, not get their permits, and continue backyard breeding. That's also a problem. But what we can do as a city, from the mayor to the council, is have a robust outreach campaign across the city to get people to adopt their pets from our shelters. Our shelter animals often get a bad rap. They're a wonderful mix and pure breeds at the shelter that just need a good home. In conclusion, this motion pushes us in that direction. Nothing is perfect, but it gets us to thinking of our goals to become a no-kill city, and therefore heads us in the right direction, and I urge an aye vote.
Thank you. Councilmember Park.
Thank you, Council President. And Councilwoman Hernandez, I just wanted to thank you for your partnership and your commitment and dedication to addressing the overpopulation crisis in our local shelters. We need to use every tool that we have available to us to bring our shelter population down to manageable levels. While this temporary breeding permit moratorium is not a silver bullet, it hopefully will help stem the inflow of dogs into our shelters. Hopefully it will help alleviate some of the burnout amongst our shelter staff and end some of the suffering experienced by animals in our community. But our work doesn't stop today. We need to take a hard look at all of our policies that may be contributing to these circumstances and ensure that Animal Services has the funding and the resources that it needs to care for the animals in their custody. I also urge your aye vote on this. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Councilmember Hernandez, thank you for your leadership bringing this forward. I see no other members wishing to be heard, so let's go ahead and open the roll, close the roll, and tabulate the votes.
13 ayes.
Mr. Price, we can take up item 20 next, if you wouldn't mind stepping out. Good morning.
Good morning. If you could. Good morning, good afternoon. The reason I'm here because we have a crisis in the city of LA, Glory Homes apartment complex in the 10th district. We have a mold crisis in almost every apartment in the complex is consumed by mold and people are getting sick. And I'm bringing this to the attention of the city of LA, the council people and so forth. The house and apartment is aware of the problem. Mold, people are getting sick. It's a major medical crisis. Also in the Glory Home complex, we have an abundance of trash bins of filth. This is the trash right here, what it looks like. You have rats, you have everything you can think of. So the main thing is the mold crisis of Glory Homes apartment complex. People are getting sick. The house and apartment and the city needs to go in there and investigate the elderly people who are living in these complexes. The next project is the Jackie Robinson Stadium. Since last year, we do not have a ramp for the veterans who are in a wheelchair. I've been asking that for the last year. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. If you could please remind us of the name you signed up under and the
Nedra
items.
Gaspard.
Okay. And which items would you like to speak to?
I'm speaking on behalf of Gloria Homes Apartments.
So general public comment?
Yes, yes.
You have 1 minute.
Okay, I'm speaking on behalf of, I am a tenant and a businesswoman in the community of the 10th District, and I have been totally displaced due to the mold situation, which they call lavish living, which basically is hazardous living. And there are elderly people there that are suffering. I have spoke to several neighbors, gotten statements, and spoke with them about, I had code enforcement come out to my apartment. I had the environmental health department come out to my apartment. They have been cited but there are other people and several other elderly people in these buildings, which is over 100 units in this community, that has been hidden. This problem has been hidden for many years. They come in, they paint over it, and people are getting sick. Children are getting sick. My grandson got sick, caught a viral respiratory infection. I've gotten sick. I have moved out, totally been displaced for over a month. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
General public comment, please.
Okay, so you have 1 minute.
1 year ago tomorrow, on April 10th, 2023, Joe Biden ended the federal state of emergency over COVID, and yet the city continues to impose a COVID vaccine mandate on the over 50,000 people working for this city. Why? Why? What is wrong with you people? End the mandate. And while I'm here, I do just want to say that it is an absolute scandal, the unprecedentedly high rate of vacancies Ms. Hernandez's office is suffering, and this is entirely due to her having eaten several of her staffers. This is completely unacceptable, and the Ethics Commission must investigate. Thank you.
Good morning. So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin.
Well, first of all, I'm going to speak on all items and non-agenda public comment with my so-called service dog right here.
Speak to the agenda or
Now,
you're finished.
the translation of the Fifth Amendment shall be held to answer for capital or otherwise infamous crimes at the ports. And now, why do I say that? Infamous crimes at the port for the Fifth Amendment.
Mr. Herman, this is not on the agenda. Please get to the agenda or you will forfeit your speaking time.
Public danger is the Fifth Amendment, sir. Read on the Fifth Amendment. That's what I'm discussing here regarding administrative exemptions at the Board of Harbor Commissioners when these people are struggling with all these toxic, poisonous, fucked up barges that come into our port to criminally kill us from China. Now, who are you protecting, Korea or China? Then, asshole, since I'm rudely interrupted, let me go to the other. Sit down. God damn it. All right. There you go. Items 1 through 11, for the record, fuck all items. And then I'm going to now go on the items held, like, for example, moo, moo, moo. Moo, moo, moo. Is that Council District 7? Fat ass for 545-944. The general city purpose, moo 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 call for a dog park. I brought my service dog. I'm talking about a dog park. So I'm on topic, foo. So get it straight, Herbert H. Humphrey. Hump on this. Because that's the only thing you don't do right. Intervene in my Fifth Amendment and this item number 33 regarding Moo Moo Cow and that jackass and the other district regarding the Sun and Dog Run Park. Woof, woof. Run, run, run. Woof, woof. Now let's go to item 37 regarding alcohol. Fuck your item 37 for alcohol. And item 34, Juju Blib, the LA River West. Public safety. The public safety is you haven't provided wells or determined how to transfer all this wasted fucking water out of the LA River into areas, into wells where you could use that to water the dog parks, water the Juju lands, and make Juju America safe from the dark garden. Save me from this fucking racist anti-Semitism that you've created in our country. Protect our water, more for Hamas, save Hamas, and stop putting your fucking ideas in Israel to kill children. Now my general public comment. Larry Gross and I were talking this morning after I exposed them to the anti-slap shit that you created, allowing this motherfucker to kill our dogs. To kill our dogs. Over 700 fucking dogs die in LA City because of you. You refuse to listen to Dan Gus. I'm not going to say who he writes for. You know what he writes about, like criminal goddamn Price over there, whose indictment, he recused himself on those fucking items, on all those thousands, if not thousands of fucking dollars of our tax-paying wasted money on you, Jew shit. And where is Mr. Buckethead, Mr. Circle K? He should listen to this shit because he's involved in that goddamn racist shit going on at the ports. 42 U.S.C. 1983. Fuck you. Fuck the ports. God bless Trump. And shut it down.
Don't yell
China
into the
soon.
mic.
Fuck you.
If you yell into the mic again in this meeting or any future meeting, you're going to be ruled in violation of Rule 12, and I'm going to kick you out.
Could I hand these to somebody to hand out 23 copies to all of you?
Yes, Sergeant will take that for you.
Thanks. Keep the folder, Sergeant.
And which items would you like to speak to?
Number 29 in general public comment.
Okay, so you have 1 minute for the item and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin.
Great. Hi, my name's Adam Smith from LA CAN's Human and Civil Rights Committee. I'm speaking on number 29 as I think it's important to lift up and shine a light on our wonderful trans and gender nonconforming friends, family, and communities, and thank Council Members Rahman and Soto Martinez for this motion. I think it's also important for our elected officials to think about the impacts of city policies on our communities and the ways particular folks and communities are disparately impacted by said policies. Since 2017, the number of transgender individuals experiencing homelessness has increased at least 57%, while the number of gender nonconforming individuals has increased at least 80%. When we think about the city's addiction to using criminalization and displacement measures like Los Angeles Municipal Code 4118 as a quote-unquote solution to homelessness, we must soberly think about the daily impact on overrepresented communities like trans and non-binary folks, and particularly black trans women, and the violence and lack of safety.
General public comment.
And the violence and lack of safety folks deal with being unhoused, a lack of safety that is only exacerbated by criminalization via laws like 4118. The public needs to see the report back on 4118. Today is 300 days since it's overdue. 300 days. We not only want the report back released, but this council should schedule a standalone special hearing to hear back from all city departments and other entities tasked in this motion with reporting back on their use of 4118, and as well as hearing back from community and community groups like the Los Angeles Community Action Network, for example. We haven't heard from numerous council offices that we've been trying to meet with. Council President Krikorian is one who can't get an email back from the council president. It says a lot when council offices can't even reply to emails. I noticed that Council Member Yaroslavsky's not here, who wrote the motion and refuses to even email us back. Where is the report back?
Thank you. You're welcome. Next speaker, and Mike Greenspan, you can come up too.
Good morning. So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment.
Yes, Buckethead, I'd like to speak on all items. Pumpkinhead. Yes, so let's talk about Big Fat Moni Cow and her animal park. What a perfect thing. Yes, there's nothing better than bringing your cow to the park, or bringing your horse, or bringing maybe a goat. Yes, that's what we need, more animal parks. For these animals here in the council love animals. That's why I'm here. I didn't know that. Yes. So now let's get to some shit. Let's see here. Number one. Fuck number one. Anything Heather Hutt does is illegitimate. No on her. Here's CD7 Moni Rodriguez taxing the people of her district. What a little fucking goathead. Number three, shame on Imelda for doing that on number three, taxing these poor people. First, why don't you fix the street lights in your district before you put more Prop 218 sign and light districts up? Yes. And then we got CD1. Oh, no. We have Itzo Hernandez putting up a whole bunch of shit over there, taxing people. There's too many lights out in your district. I want a motion on all these light districts that no light district will be approved until the current ones are repaired and fixed. And I believe this was Kevin's idea. Thank you, Kevin. I think it's a good idea. And then we have Hugo Shoto Stalin. Yes, you knew you were next. Sitting there drinking his free coffee, taxing his constituents. And then we have, of course, Tracy Evil Park over there taxing these poor people in her district, yes, as she bows her head in shame. And then what's this? Oh, look at Kevin wants to shut down an alley. Very good, Kevin. Very good. You know, you're improving. I might have to change my endorsement back to you from that pretty lady running against you. I don't know. We'll see. If you want it, then you can get it. But if you don't want it, you won't get it. Then we have CD4. Then that's right. We have Nithya Ramen Noodle. The fucking cunt wants Sprouts Farmer Market to go and have more alcohol so people can go home and beat their old lady drunk. Isn't that the plan? Aren't there enough fucking liquor licenses in your district? I can't go down your streets without tripping over a liquor store or liquor license. Protect women for once and vote no. Now we'll get to the general comment.
General public comment?
Tomorrow we're celebrating Ramadan, but apparently Pat Timmy Buckethead McOsker is going to hold a committee meeting here in these chambers in defiance of the Muslim community. Is that right? Are you such a racist, Buckethead, that you can't take the day off and honor our Muslim brothers and sisters? What a piece of fucking Irish shit this asshole is. I can only imagine. His mother wishes she had a time machine so she could have had that abortion. What a fucking fat, bucket-headed cunt to hold a fucking meeting here tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. in these chambers, when even Paul Martin Krikorian, the biggest racist in the world, is holding a recess, the one thing he's done right in his life. The second will be when he pleads guilty. But again, I want that meeting canceled. Any other council member that shows up, you are anti-Muslim. Fuck you.
Next speaker.
Good morning. Which items would you like to speak to?
Item 36.
Okay, so you have 1 minute. Please begin.
Let's save our animals. Let's save our pussycats. Meow. Thou shalt not kill animals. Let's save our dogs and cats. We need to fix our streets. General public comment, city attorney. We need to fix our fix our streets. We need to fix our sidewalks. We need to get LA back the way it used to be. Wasn't too happy when you threw me out 2 weeks ago. I'd like your resignation 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Next speaker.
Item 35 is on our election results, and just want to recognize Kevin putting the L in KDL. Just an absolutely historically bad performance by an incumbent. By double digits, the worst performance we've seen from an incumbent council member in over 20 years. I'm going to look into that and get the exact stat for you so we can put it into full historical context. On a more serious note, want to just congratulate Councilmember Rahman for spanking Ethan Weaver and the LAPPL. I hope this serves as a lesson to all of our incumbents. You can look back to Councilmember Rue in his election in 2015. He had a genuinely grassroots campaign, strong field effort, and ended up completely abandoning it in 2020 and running a traditional campaign, where most of our incumbents go the route of casting safe votes, relying on Keegan and Papas to host a bunch of lobbyists, organizing fundraisers.
General public comment?
Getting 90% of their money from max contributors, building up a massive $1 million war chest, having no field campaign, just flooding mailboxes, relying on nasty attack ads. We saw how that worked out for David Rue, Mitch O'Farrell, and Gil Cedillo. So for those of you that are running in a few years, I hope you take that message that you don't have to be a complete hack around this horseshoe, and you could actually run a campaign on principles and win even if you are outspent. And just want to note, It has been 1,588 days since the city council did anything to address corruption. We've had 4 members arrested since then. 257 days that our council president has been out of compliance with the charter's requirement that he appoint somebody to the ethics commission, and he has still not taken accountability for that misuse of city resources with that Nazarian email. And I'm just going to say, last chance to resolve this in a diplomatic way, or you force people to resort to other options.
Thank you. Your time's expired. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. So you have 3 minutes for the items and 1 minute for general public comment. Please begin with the items.
Mike Greenspan, all items and public comment. First of all, happy Passover, you scab rabbis. And remember, Jesus didn't do Easter, he did Passover. Dumb goyim. Now, let's go to liquor. Oh, yes, Mr. B-double-O-Z-E. We don't have Herb Wesson out here anymore, but we sure got others filling in the shoes, just like Nithya Cunt Ramen Noodle in District 4 with the Sprouts. Why don't we just change our laws and make it New Orleans style, 24 hours, French Quarter everything? It'd be more convenient, very convenient. We don't have enough liquor. We have to have more. Just bring the money. Now, let's look at other things. Oh, talking about street lights, I like nothing in Council District 2 where Lancashire from Hart to Sherman is always dark. I keep mentioning it time and time again at City Council. In fact, that's Mr. Krikorian's district, and it's still dark as ever. Thank you. Now, Santa has been generous. Oh, what do you mean? Well, let's look at the latter part of the agenda. Why, while Rodriguez has been a good girl, she's getting about $225,000 on item 27, even though she's not here today, and she's getting another thing for which is it? Hubert Humphrey. Yes. How much is she getting on that one? Is that the 500,000 plus? After all, money must grow on trees. Some people have been nice. And then there's who else being nice? Why, Madison McCabe is getting $31,250. Santa is being really nice to some people. They've been on the nice list. They're probably contributing to campaigns and everything else and getting their payouts. We have election results for all the districts, and go Burgos, anyone but Nazarian in District 2. And remember, we got that Senate race. Garvey, you can't beat your meat. I don't know why you're running. Oh, Katie Porter is a fat cunt who had a terrible bunch of consultants. Now, let's look at other things. Where's this money coming from? I forgot to bring my gloves today so we can go pick them off the money trees in Districts 3 and 5. But what can I say? We keep spending. Kind of our version of Rome Burn and Nero Fiddled. Well, while we have no money, Blumenfield must be pulling $400 million out of his yarmulke because where's the money? Where's the money?
General public comment?
Yes. Congratulations, Granada Hills, on your championships. I've actually, years ago, umpired a girls' softball game at Granada Hills. They were well behaved. I wish I could say that for others in the hood, but not. I mean, one of the biggest jerks around is a pastor at a mega church, Dudley Rutherford. He is the biggest jerk on the planet. I've refereed the games over there at Hillcrest. That you couldn't get any worse than him. And there's others too. A guy named Rod Shautong, who happened to be the athletic director at West Valley Christian. I had to help my officiating partner out of the gym because Shautong, I'm going to call this person, I'm going to call that person. And I walked up there and I said, I don't care who you're going to call. And I escorted my partner out. That guy. And who else? Oh, and in a Christian league, when you get caught cheating, what do? They jerk their dicks and blame the umpire. It's everybody's fault but theirs. Ho, ho, ho.
Any additional adjourning motions, colleagues? Seeing none, This meeting is adjourned. Go forth and serve the city.